My brother invited us to a high-end steakhouse for my dad's 72nd birthday, then made my 10-year-old sit there with an empty plate. 2 months later, his wife emailed me a bill for $672.34, like I was their personal ATM. They didn't expect what I did next. I'm Mark, 43, divorced, living outside St. Louis with my son. My younger brother has always been the golden kid, loud, flashy, and somehow always the center of my parents' universe. He married a woman who could weaponize a smile. She'd stab you with a compliment and act shocked you bled. He said he wanted to do something special for dad. He picked a Chicago steakhouse that looked like it charged rent for oxygen. He told me, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." So I drove up with my son, checked into a cheap motel, and tried not to look at the prices. We were 10 minutes late. They were already in a giant booth, sipping wine. My son slid in beside my brother's kids. They stayed glued to their phones. The waiter asked about drinks. My brother waved him off. We already ordered wine. Then his wife smiled at me. "Oh, we ordered as soon as we got here. The kids were starving." Food started landing. Wagyu, steaks, sides, plates for everyone. My son sat there with nothing in front of him except a napkin. My brother leaned back and said, "We didn't order for you. Figured you'd pick something for him." His wife did a tiny fake laugh. "You should have packed snacks." You know how picky kids can be. My son's face changed. Not confused, embarrassed, like he'd done something wrong by existing. I didn't yell. I didn't slam the table. I just nodded and said, "Good to know." I pulled the waiter aside and ordered my kid the same level of meal as everyone else. Medium, not medium rare, chocolate dessert. Bring it like it was always the plan. When it arrived, my son lit up, and I saw him breathe again. His wife raised an eyebrow. "Going all out, huh?" I smiled. He deserved the same as everyone else. After dessert, my brother made a show of gifts. He handed dad engraved platinum cufflinks. Then his wife pulled out 2 boxes for their kids, matching gold bracelets. My son watched, hands folded, waiting. There wasn't a third box. Nobody filled the silence. Not my brother, not his wife, not my parents. My son forced a smile and whispered, "It's okay. I didn't really want anything anyway." I think my minded doom. That was my breaking point, because that's exactly what I'd been trained to say. I stood up and said I was stretching my legs. I walked to the front desk, asked for the manager, and made a quiet request. She looked at me for half a second, then nodded. 5 minutes later, the check hit the table. Not a neat little folder, a long, itemized receipt. Wines, steaks, sides, desserts, the cufflinks, every special add-on, all under one name. My brother blinked like someone slapped him. He started flipping pages. His wife's smile froze mid-sip. The waiter appeared and said, "Sir, you asked us to put it all under your name." My brother stared at me. "Wait, what is this?" I leaned back and repeated his own words. "Good to know." We left while he sat there doing frantic math. In the car, my son finally asked, "Did I do something wrong?" I said, "No, they did, and we're not going to pretend otherwise." I please offer 7th. The next day, my brother texted that I was petty and ruined dad's birthday. I didn't argue. I went quiet, because quiet is what they always depended on. Then his wife emailed me, "You owe us $672.34. Please transfer by Friday." One line, no hello, no apology, like my kid's empty plate was my fault. I replied with one sentence, "You'll get your money when my son gets an apology." More silence. A few weeks later, my dad showed up at my door. He tried the usual, "Your brother didn't mean it, and let's all move on." I kept my voice calm. "No," I said, "you don't get to move on from what you watched." He admitted he'd seen my son sitting there with nothing. He just didn't step in. That hurt worse than my brother's smug little games. I told him, "If you want to be in my son's life, you show up. No more pretending this is normal." He nodded. No argument, just quiet. My brother sent one last text, "Hope you're happy. You destroyed the family." I replied, "No, I finally protected mine." What would you have done in my place? Pay the $672.34 or demand the apology my kid deserved?